Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to tonight's Club Showcase for Enterprise Legacy. I am Zoe Vermillion. I know a thing or two about this club and its flag set, and I am joined by the wonderful Asuka424. How you doing, Asuka?
I'm doing okay. Ready for the long haul today, given our newest objective that's been added. How about you?
I'm doing great. I did one practice of this during the week because I always like to play what I'm going to be subjecting people to. And last week's winner, Infinius, added in O-Mode Fiends. So if you see that objective list that just scrolled by your screen, there's 6 extra objectives there, all of them being boss hunts, which can add quite a bit of time. But fortunately, while we do still have no EXP on, because you're doing so many boss hunts, and then there's still the trap chest with K-Trap, by the time you make it to Zeromus, you're going to be well over the level you want to take him out.
Yeah, agreed. And just with everything here, including the additional objectives today of finding Rosa as a character, completing the Atlantic Cave, completing Cave Magnus, completing Baronin, and finding Tella, an additional Tella, mind you, we're going to be seeing a very large sum of this seed, even if it's just the briefest of checks. So I'm curious to see how this is all going to play out over time.
Yeah, absolutely. The Get Rosa and the Complete the Atlantic Nest are static objectives. The other 3 are random. The runners do need to defeat all of them. I apologize to our tracker and restreamer for figuring out how to get that all to fit in the overlay. Also, sorry to Scala, who cried a little bit when she saw that Fiends was being added. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. I have loved what this club has achieved and the way it's evolved in this is the 7th week, and it barely looks like anything that existed in the first week. So I'm excited. We do still have some meta objectives. The previous 2 from the last 2 weeks were not met, and they have yet to be met. So we still have those active. The first of which is winning a battle against Pink Puffs. The second is eluding all 8 Chocobo treasures. And the third is just 3 question marks. I know what that is, and one other person knows what that is, but no one else knows what that is.
For the record, I am not that other person that knows what this is. So
that is correct.
Finding out with everybody else.
I ensured that one other person knew what it was, so that there was transparency, and I couldn't just change it arbitrarily. It is set, and once it is met, it will be revealed, and the change will go into place. So it's a lot of fun. People have been theorizing what it could be, so I'll be excited to see if we can see it achieved tonight. But it looks like we are underway.
And it looks like we have oh wow, that is a very interesting start. We have a Tella and an Edge, and a blue rope giving the Magma Key. I think our restreamer Smapety has something planned for tonight.
This feels like the dream start to a Theremis Zone group seed, because you've got your Exit Man, you've got your Edge, and then you've got your instant underground access. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty quick start here. Wonder where that Rosa is, though.
And as Smapety pointed out in chat, you have 15 minutes. Let's go.
Smapety has things to do, y'all.
So, let's see where everyone's going to be starting. Well, it's going to take a few minutes to get through that first listing of all the objectives, but it looks like Pixel Tamer will be trying to complete one of the meta objectives, which is looting all 8 Chocobo treasures out of this game.
Oh,
so that's going to be interesting. Now, for those that might not be familiar with how Legacy works, there's one other caveat to completing the meta objectives, and I believe that is they have to finish the top 3, and the highest in the top 3 that completes that objective, correct?
So you're correct in that it does also need to be someone in the top 3. However, it's not a reward that gives that person a choice like the winner's reward. It is a set change that is in play once the meta objective is created that gets added. So it's just an additional flag change on top of the 3 that I pick, but it is static when it is assigned.
Gotcha.
So there's that caveat. But that first Chocobo forest there on the Chocobo Island, you have a crystal ring. So that's a pretty nice piece of gear to find. Gives +5 agility, as well as numerous or some pretty good defensive stats, as well as immunity to paralysis, and I think a few other resistances.
Yeah, and on Rexwell's side, he decided to check Bedward in Troya to see if, because the free key item is on. Unfortunately, Edward was not playing around that day or today, and only gave some samurai arrows, which are really good arrows, but no progress.
Yeah, I don't need these. I want to go back to sleep. Here, have them.
I'll see you when you start doing Cave Magnus.
Yeah. Wake me up when it's time to play the song.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Meanwhile, Rex did some other looting, and I see that there is a Stardust Rod in his inventory. I missed where he got that, but that, even on that Tella, can be pretty nice early on. Using it as an item in battle will do a pretty decent AoE attack, similar to the Stardust J item. And it gives +15 wisdom, so... Okay, Smakey's just pandering to our commentators now.
I don't know about you. That's the best, best double character check I've seen in a long while.
That is real good. And it's way important than whatever it was that I was saying, so...
Nothing wrong with a double Edward just to start the deceit off.
All right, Rex is gonna start hunting down some of these bosses. There are, what, 6 of them? Yeah, 6 of them. So, oh boy.
Yeah. I'll admit with O-Fiends, I finally realized for the first time that Mylon and Friends and Mylon Zed count separately towards it. So you have to do both versions of Mylon to get credit there. So that was a new little thing.
Both versions of Mylon, Kainatsu, Volvalis, Ruby, and the elements as a team.
And as Niabario in chat is hoping along a whole bunch of us, let's see which one of them is hiding behind a package today.
Package or in Sealed Cave would also be nice. Well, there's a Rosa. So that will be an objective complete. It will not be lit up because we have merged Rosa and Tella on the overlay in the interest of space, but that is an objective. So that is one piece of the puzzle done.
And meanwhile, we have Pixel Tamer using that magma key immediately to check Feymarch, get that freebie, and potentially see what rude bosses are going to be at the King and Queen spot today.
Yeah, and important to note is that vanilla trap chests are on, so Pixel Tamer can loot this, can loot Sylph Cave with impunity, as long as he knows where that vanilla trap chest is, and not have to worry about resetting out and losing time. This is just free loot of a relatively good tier.
And as asked in chat, no, the starter character does not count towards the objective. I'm not sure if the second character counts, but the first one definitely does not.
The second one also does not count. Your objectives are not effectively active until after the cutscene that lists them, and so because you receive that second character prior to that, does not count. Oh, we have second Rosa.
This is the duplicate seed today, it looks like. Multi-Edward, multi-Rosa. I'm okay with that.
Oh, there's our Darkness Crystal.
Now, as someone that races, Zoe, you have the Magma Key and you have the Darkness Crystal, and those are your first 2 key items. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your panic level currently?
Probably about a 7. I hate early Darkness Crystal, especially in boss hunt and flag sets, because rather than clearing out and doing slow progression to get to the moon, all of a sudden I now have like 6 boss spots on the moon available. Plus with K-Trap, that is 10 key item locations suddenly within my logic. It's not fun. Fortunately, we don't have K-Moon, which would make that an additional 5, or additional 6. So yeah, I'm not happy. There's also no experience from random encounters. You can't do an early D machine grind to just get it done. You have to get your experience through bosses and trap chests.
Yeah, that sounds a whole lot of nope and not fun. Speaking of nope and not fun, that Fey March was very interesting. We had the Dark Imps, potentially the Dark Imps, at the Leviathan spot, so that is a heavy hitting spot, and we had a slog of a fight with CPU in the Ashura spot, so that's probably not what Pixel Tamer wanted to see right there.
Yeah, that was the Dark Imps. The only other time you will see a red robe like that will be if Elements is at Dwarf Castle.
Right, fair point.
Because of palette restrictions. It's always fun to get trolled. You're like, oh, look, it's Dark Imps. Oh, no, it's Elements. And in our required Antlion's Nest, there is a demist. This is not a bonus round because we do have the free key item at Edward. So this will just be your standard run-of-the-mill, no extra value boss.
Well, it's interesting. We've already knocked out a surprising number of boss fight locations without finding any of the bosses we need. So this could be ramping up for some interestingly fun spots for our bosses today.
Yeah, there's what, 6 bosses needed? Let's just put them all on the moon.
I have no problems with that.
Kainatsu at Ribbon Room, preferably. And then Ruby at Ogopogo.
I'd say Val at Cave Bahamut.
I'd say Val probably at
Elden, maybe?
Yeah, I was going to say Murasame Alto, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. In chat, put Kanatsu at Element spot for maximum misery.
I mean, yes, but that's also not the moon. Look, I'm a fan of runners going through heck as long as I am not racing and as long as it's not Kainatsu at Elements. I would never wish that upon anybody.
But thankfully, it looks like we have found our first required boss, and that is on Mount Hobbs. We have Mylon and friends, while Pixel Tamer is fighting a not required boss, but Antlion at Fabul. So we have found our first fiend. 10 minutes.
Yes, that is good. Good to find. Get it out of the way early. Mylon and friends here. Very simple. Antlion. I've seen a lot of Antlion at Fabul recently. It's just taking a trip eastward after getting evicted from its home. Very unfortunate. But I don't think it's going to find a new home in Fabul tonight.
To answer chat, there are 6 fiend objectives that are all bunched into objective number 1. We have Mylon Zed, Valvalis, Rubicant, Kanatsu, and Elements. Once all 6 of those are done, then that gets lit up. We haven't reached the scrolling tracker yet. Give us time.
Yeah. Tons of credit to Scala and Uhu for making our overlays and making them so interactive. But there are limits to what we make them do, and the limit for objectives was 5. So
direct all complaints to Judge Infinius on that one.
Yes.
As Pixel Tamer is going to find their first boss, and Rex is getting his double dose of everyone's, well, my favorite best boy. Again, quick shout out to Smapedy for our restreamer, and then Kairu, our tracker. I know you guys are doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Zoe and I just get to talk and have fun and watch these runners suffer through a lot of objectives, but you two are pushing the buttons and having a good old time, so shout outs to them and give them a follow and our runners a follow. They're absolutely amazing at what they do. They are just fantastic and always willing to showcase what they do, so cheers to them as well.
Yes 10 out of 10. Definitely agree with that. The teams that put on these restreams are always fantastic, and I'm always happy to be a part of them. To touch on something from chat, people were talking about how rude the fiends flag is. If you think about it in the context in which it was created, which was let's make an alternate win condition so you don't have to fight Zeromus, just go find all the fiends, and if you have win game on, then you just do that instead, then it's not so bad. But when combined with 5 other objectives, as well as having to beat Zeromus, it's a little bit unwieldy.
Well, we have a little bit of information on Rex's side. Seeing those 2 blue robes there means that edge is gated by the Alt Gauntlet, which in that spot, not so bad. But what it also tells Rex is that the blue robe in Baron is actually the free fight of Water Hag. So a lot more information than you might realize right there. Plus, going into that fight, they did pick up both the Gungnir Spear for a Kane currently not appearing in the seed, and some mute arrows that could be really beneficial later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Alt Gauntlet will take a bit here. It's you don't like to see it at this spot, mainly because this spot is normally incredibly fast, and this is going to draw it out immensely. But this is an objective, so both runners are going to have to do it anyway, as well as the other 24-ish runners in this race off stream. So you don't hate doing it when it's required.
And this is when the rude person in me is thinking, I wonder if there's a wyvern behind here. Yeah, funny.
If there is, let me just double check the flag set here. There's so many moving parts to this now. There is Witchburn enabled, so it would potentially be something that is not Mega Nuke off the bat.
I wonder if there's Evil Wall behind here.
Now, that Witchburn can be something that is worse than Mega Nuke, to be sure, so you can get a party-wide charm off of it, which is always fun.
I have seen the glance go off, and that was just, unfortunately, a wipe for the runner, but for all of us watching, kind of funny.
Yeah. Or you can see the rare Storm, which is a party-wide weak all the way down to 1 HP, which is only seen if you cast Holy on a Behemoth. It's the counter script for that.
Oh, jeez.
First time I got that, I was very confused.
I want to see a hug.
Wyvern gives you a hug. Now, we talking like the hugs from the carries or the Fupa hug?
The Fupa hug.
Pixel Tamer, to my knowledge, has looted at least 3 Chocobo for us. I'll have to double check if he comes in the top 3, if he gets them all by the end of this.
And Pixel Tamer also getting the not so great news to see that double robe right there. So while they're fighting their 5 fights in the area, the last shout out I'm giving right now is the absolutely wonderful, my fellow co-commentator Zoe Vermillion Rosa. This is entirely Zoe's brainchild, and it's this living flag set has taken off with the free enterprise community and consistently gets so many people involved. And oh, hi, Evil Wall.
It's a witch! It's a witch! Burn her!
But yeah, give so many shout outs to Zoe. I mean, Zoe deserves every single shout out for this. It's been great fun. People love it. And heck, I can't race to save my life, and I've even participated in one of these. I think I finished last or next to last, which is par for my course, but I had fun with them, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, racing is about having fun. But thank you so much. That means a lot to me. The fact that this club, which I came up with as just kind of this really esoteric idea, that I was able to get the admins to so graciously allow me to create it, and then it gets restreamed every week, was already huge. And then just seeing the reception from the community, how many people have been in these races each week, and like with this mystery meta objective, the talk like all week has been, what is this meta objective? People trying to figure it out and coming up with some great theories, which may or may not become future meta objectives. It's just been a lot of fun to see how the community has taken to this idea that I wasn't sure was going to be a like remotely successful or even work in the way that I imagined it would. So thank you all so much for enjoying this club.
And Rex has shown us that behind that evil wall was just a little bit of a Leviathan summon, so the Rydia starter pack is starting to be put together for the Rydia that Rex does not have. We almost saw Rex make a slight mistake with getting rid of a second edge instead of getting rid of the Edward that they have sent home. But so that is now the second objective done for Rex, and 9 more to go.
Yep. Well, it's just sending home the fake Edward in favor of the real Edward. That's all it is.
And I'm sure Pixel Tamer, as soon as he finishes this, will be getting rid of one of his 3 Edwards he currently has in his party.
Yeah, I didn't realize he hadn't found any of the roses yet, because the one in Water Pass and the one in Dampian. So, but yeah, with finding that Levia, you got that Gungnir Spear, you're sitting here going, okay, can I get a Rydia? Can I get a Kain? But you have to remember that we do have distinct 8 on, so there's only going to be 8 different characters. I believe to this point we have seen 4 of them, so there's still 4 mystery characters floating out there, and there's one of them.
Quite fitting, considering it was found in our deals, so that'll be online Cecil in the very near future.
Yeah, but not picking him up just yet. He came here to become a paladin and needed some help, and Rex says no. I'll do it myself. And a free fight here at the first spot. Bahamut, in almost any spot, is a free fight as long as you have enough Star Veils or Wallcasters to reflect back his Mega Nukes, but here he'll die before he even gets off his first one.
Yeah, I don't even think I've seen Bahamut count 5 yet. Oh, there we go.
Yep, there it is.
And just like that, we have another boss, not required boss-ish, but boss down.
Every little bit of experience is also very helpful. It's flag set, so. But I like the Ordeals play here. You've got your Tella. Maybe want to get him online. Hello, Paled him. But it's also 3 boss checks, and if you're doing so many boss hunts, you want to check your boss dense locations as quickly as possible.
Agreed. And Paladin, correct me if I'm wrong, Paladin can be kind of punchy in certain locations, not so much this one from the looks of it.
Yeah, Paladin's script is basically just punch and counterattack physical attacks with slow, and then absorbs the 3 primary elements if you use them with magic. So not necessarily a very rude boss. I would say probably the friendliest of the lunar bosses at any given location. Wyvern can be more friendly in some locations. Plague can be basically free in a great number of locations. But Paladin is the one that if I have to see it, I like seeing, because he also has that lovely dragon weakness that you can take advantage of with a Dragoon Spear, Artemis arrows, or a Dragon Whip if you're rocking a physical Rydia.
I gotcha.
Oh yeah, Paladin also counters summons with Quake, so don't summon on him. I forgot about that part.
Quake against Paladin?
Yes. Quake and Nuke and Virus all are fine. You just don't want to summon on him.
Gotcha. And Rex is showing us the key item, and that's another spear. Yay. And a
holy spear on a holy mountain. Is this the after years? Is Kain here recently?
Apparently. It's prepping for Kain to show up. Again, another boss spot and another not fiend. So although it's nice to see Baigen in this spot, because there can be some very, very rude locations to find Baigen, Rex is probably getting a little annoyed that he's not finding fiends.
We're also running out of what you would consider your standard key item locations here in the overworld. There are the 3 trap chests in Castle Eblin, and there's also the Flame Dog chest in Zot. Plus, you've got 7 in Sylph Cave if you go back underground, as well as the one in the Fey March. Plus, you got Dwarf, Upper Babel, 4 or Lower Babel, 4 and Lower Babel. The underground has a ton of Kiadam locations right now. Not even thinking about the fact that we have a Darkness Crystal, which gives us 11 more if you include the Hunt. So, where each runner goes next, there's just such a wide variety of options that if we see them just completely diverge at this point, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, what's interesting to note is Rex still hasn't gone underground yet. He still hasn't gotten the terrifying news of a free Darkness Crystal. So it'll be interesting to see where Rex. Oh, it looks like Rex is also checking out some Chocobo Forest. So good for him.
I have to wonder, and I've fallen victim to this before. When you start with a magma key and you have so many objectives and you're thinking about everything you need to do, sometimes you forget you have it. He seems to be flying right to Agert, so never mind. But I've definitely gone on like extended hunts on the overworld going, okay, I got to find my underground access, and I never find it. I'm like, why don't I have anything? And I realized, oh, right, I started with a magma key.
It's like, and then the panic intensifies.
Yep.
There's like that image of the one gentleman sweating profusely nonstop. It's like, it's me.
This is me. You're probably wondering how I got here. Rex.
Go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, that would be a moment that I muted my microphone.
And then Rex dropping that magma key down the well, blowing up the mountain. Because it's Final Fantasy, that's how these things work. I imagine he'll be going to get his Darkness Crystal. With him having cleared out most of the overworld at this point, I suspect we're going to see some underground checks as well. The 4 trap chests in Lower Babel are very low hit point. And with Tella now having access to stop, you can stop them so they don't summon anything when you attack if you don't happen to one-shot them. So I don't believe either runner has a Thunderclaw for edge. Or you start taking on some of the other ones, but this party kind of lacks AoE power, which is what you really want for those Sylph Cave trap chests.
And now Pixel Tamer has finished his mount ordeals. He has his Paladin Cecil, and something I know I keep forgetting is that Vanilla Agility is on, which means Cecil is your agility anchor if Cecil is in your party. It doesn't matter what position Cecil is in, the agility anchor is that Cecil. Now, if you don't have the Cecil, how it works is the middle position, the agility anchor priority goes middle, top, bottom, top, middle, bottom, middle. So whichever character is first found in that position order, that's your agility anchor. So it'll be interesting to see what our runners do with these Cecils. Do they keep them for the vanilla agility, or do they try to find a second Cecil so they can have one take a nap and one do a lot of damage? Or do they just find a 5th character and say, I don't want to deal with vanilla agility right now?
Yeah, vanilla agility can complicate things. I imagine if we see a crystal sword that we're going to be seeing a crystal sword Cecil. Here in this shop, we see silk webs. Having at least one of those for your Zeromus fight is very good. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a runner pick one up if they haven't already found one elsewhere. Pixel Tamer is now heading to Castle Ublin, and Rex has just gotten the news that, oh, hey, this Darkness Crystal has been here since the beginning. Have fun with your completely open seed.
It's like I'm pretty sure Smapey is just feeling the glares from all the runners right now.
That's why I like being in the booth. I don't have to get the glares. You and me both have been known to roll some seeds that have gotten some glares, and we can't be blamed tonight.
You're right. Hashtag blame Smapey.
Yeah, hashtag blame Smapey. Smapey has a...
And Smapey is just going for it.
Yeah, Smapey has apparently a Dragoon armor and a curse ring equipped, so he can take the glares, and it even makes him more powerful. It heals him.
He's taking all the spears that we found thus far for Kane and just like equipping all of them.
Safety is Gilgamesh confirmed.
I accept that head canon.
Ooh, a
nice
power shirt.
That crystal chest piece. Yeah, power shirt's even better than the crystal.
We were both excited about two different pieces of chest armor.
Like, if you're not berserking Cecil right now, sure, yeah. Just let him take a punch.
Very good for cover strats, especially if you pair that with something like a glass mask, or if you need like specific racial defenses, like a wizard hat or a rune ring or an Aegis shield. Speaking of Aegis shield,
ironically, Rex just showed us Aegis shield. Or no, Rex showed us the glass mask.
Yeah, Pixel Tamer showed us the Aegis shield. Yeah, so that you run into something like a nasty Baron guards somewhere and you don't have a way to quick kill them, Crystal Armor Aegis shield will do wonders against that.
You see that dragon weapon, additional mute arrows, so those mute arrows always great to find, and more of the Rydia starter pack for that Rydia that we don't have yet. That's always good to know. Right now, Rex is doing a very important check that is essentially letting us know that the job dwarf is an electric motor mechanic, doing the runner of the people strats. So GG's to Rex for that one.
Yes, always enjoy that. I have to make a really bad joke here. Pixel Tamer just looted two chests in Castle Elbin that were right next to each other. One was a boomerang and one was a full moon. And my first thought was, I didn't realize we were playing Z3R because that was like the blue boomerang and the red boomerang.
Nice. I approve. 10 out of 10. 12 out of 10.
216 out of 10.
Or just general 17 out of 17, just to fit the motif of Free Enterprise.
Yes. Profness in chat saying elements on ped. I'm down for this.
Profness confirmed runner of culture.
Rex is taking the back door into Dwarf Castle. Probably going to check out these shops. Might give us a peek at the first boss. First boss does have a good chunk of HP, and depending who's there, can be a little annoying. But if we clear it, then we'll be able to get to the second boss, which is much easier, and get us a key item. Plus, the Warp Witch is enabled. So with this Tella having done ordeals, we have access to that.
I will say one thing I've had to start learning is I always forget these treasure chests in Dwarf Castle. I always forget that tower exists, plain and simple. Like, oh, I'll just go on the straight line, do, and then forget about everything else. But that is the newbie in the comms booth talking.
Yeah, I used to loot these pretty much any seed that had T Wildish. I have recently cut back on how much I loot these chests, but they do have great value if you're still looking for either money in order to buy some stuff, because we do have S Wild on, but not free, so you can get whatever you want. You're just gonna have to pay for it.
And speaking of value, Pixel Tamer just picked up the package out of Castle Eblin, so Pixel immediately going to take a look at that on the wrong side of the building.
And it's an Eddie. Now, the thing that would be great about that Eddie being there is that if there's one of the fiends waiting in the Kaipo Inn.
Especially since Pixel immediately reset out of that, so I'm suddenly hoping there's a fiend behind that package check.
Yeah, in a big group race, that is a check that I imagine at least one or two runners will gamble on and just see that through until the boss to see if it's a fiend, and they may get well rewarded, or it's a time waste.
It's definitely one of the longer checks out there. That Cave Magnus, even Tower of Zod, if you're not looking for characters, like there's some pretty lengthy rabbit holes, and that's one of the least rewarding but most burning if you gamble incorrectly.
Yeah, and Pixel Tamer's Edge is very much online, rocking double ninja swords, the stock bandana, as well as a power shirt. That Edge is going to be doing some damage.
Like Pixel put both the full moon and the boomerang on. Sure.
And a Zeus gauntlet for good measure, so it's even better. Yeah, I think he swapped out that boomerang for a long sword on the second Edge. So full moon long sword's pretty good as well.
And lo and behold, we do have a required boss in the Dwarf Castle that could be Elf,
and
could be Ruby. We're not quite.
This is Ruby.
This is Ruby.
This is Ruby.
Fantastic.
If this were elements, as we mentioned earlier, it would be a red robe.
I swear one of these years I'll learn myself.
That one is one that a lot of people don't know. I didn't know for the longest time because it so rarely comes up. That it's just something that has stuck with me because I am a huge fan of weird oddities like that.
Actually, there was a scene that I ran not terribly long ago that did have the elements here. I was like, oh, it's Dark Imps. Why are you guys here?
It's Dark Imps. No, it's not.
I was today years old when. As we enjoy some wonderful leg on Pixel Tamer's side, it looks like Rex is going to be heading to Fabul and potentially doing Sheila 1, and I believe have they already done Fabul?
I believe Rex did. I believe Rex did that before Antlion, if I want to say. While Pixel Tamer was doing underground checks, I believe Rex already cleared out the bull defense. I'm being proven wrong. There are two runners on screen. That is more runners than that's one more runner than I am capable of keeping track of. So
you were rated again. Simple as that.
Liked it. It was what was it? It was so nice. We did it twice. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Now, fortunately, fortunately for Pixel Tamer, they have officially found their Tella. And this boss is normally a quick spot with relatively low HP. Unfortunately, it is Dr. Lugae, and Dr. Lugae is a two-part boss fight that has a little bit of dialogue behind them. So this is turning out to be a very interesting seed that Snoopy's rolled with the Alt Gauntlet in a normally quick spot, Dr. Dialogue in a relatively quick spot, just trying to drag everything out here.
Fortunately, with all the talking and the not super threatening attacks here, enough time to get Tella back up, and we can resurrect the rest of the party here in the second spot if we absolutely need to. So at this point, we are on the hunt for the Twin Harp as well as the other 4 fiends. We still need to find Mylon Zed, Kainatsu, Elements, and Valvalis, I believe.
And there's still so many checks on the moon. Still hoping for a package, though. But Pixel Tamer is showing us that warp glitch, so they don't have to go to the sealed cave, which could be a bad thing if there's a fiend in the sealed cave.
And just an assassin dagger, so that's kind of nice if you need it for some very tricky bosses that can be killed with its swoon proc. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you any additional knowledge. Had that been something like the pan, then you would have known that the Luca key could not be behind the pan. But it's just now Pixel Tamer's just hoping there's no fiend in the sealed cave.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because Pixel now has fated 2 kind of annoying to get to bosses with both packaging. and the sealed cave. So it'll be interesting to see once the boss checks start winding down and he's not finding what he needs to find, if he goes back and looks at either of those spots.
Picking up some Bacchus blinds, so it'll go very nicely with this incredibly geared out edge. If you're into something where you need to berserk your way through it, you'll have access to it without needing to hard cast it with your Tela. But Rex has now joined Pixel Tamer here in the Dwarf Castle, kind of a roundabout high five, as Pixel Tamer is departing to go check somewhere else. But first, a quick pit stop.
Yeah, given that the fact that they're getting a full HP top off, I mean, they could be either checking trap chests soon, or they could be making the Keyless Tower play. So it'll be interesting where they stop, and it does look like Keyless Tower with some trap chests there.
Yeah, Keyless Tower with K-Trap on is incredibly more valuable than it is typically, because you get 4 additional key item checks. Looks like Pixel Tamer is going to go up probably to the middle save room, save there, so he can reset out of the boss at the top if it is not a key item he wants, and grab the trap chest on the way back down, because they are all just prior to that save room, so you don't need to worry about anything in the upper half.
That is good to know. I was actually watching somebody practice the seed earlier, and I just found out the Sylph Cave chests, all but one, are in that group of 6. It's like, oh, well, I guess I should look up Vanilla Cave or Vanilla Trap Chest, shouldn't I? Because that's easy.
Yeah, Sylph Cave is great because you can just get rid of those 6, and then you just got to go to the one that would be the Vanilla Toad Lady, which is on the way down. And we have either Capital Guards or Officer Soldier here, so this is not going to be particularly threatening. We do see DKC is at the Ruby spot, so no knowledge of what's at the King Queen spot, but at least we know that there's no Fiend there.
That's a significant sigh of relief to Pixel Tamer right now.
I don't know. I almost would prefer seeing a Fiend there, because then that means that the King Queen spot wouldn't be isolated, but now it is.
Point. Fair point.
But
I was looking at Pixel's screen. I didn't realize it's reset on the Dwarf Castle fight.
Oh, yeah. That first spot does have some pretty nasty magic power. Paired with Ruby's glare, it can be pretty rough if you get some unlucky board face AI.
No, he has 2 edges. He's got a pretty squishy team altogether, comparatively with Pixel having that Paladin Cecil and a significantly higher leveled edge that could probably take a few more attacks than Rex's team. So it's, yeah, that could be, yeah, with those damage numbers on that team, that gets a little squirrely.
Yeah, you don't really have a good source of magic damage in order to take out this Ruby without triggering its counterattacks. It looks like we may have some ice arrows on that top Rosa with a heroine robe doing nearly 2k. Definitely not too bad if we can just maintain the healing here, be able to get through.
Now, I believe Pixel Tamer finding massive value at the top of tower. That one, I believe, was the Twin Harp. So that is a required objective.
Yes, and that is our key item go mode with an asterisk, depending on if something is locked behind, like in a key item locked boss spot. But now we are just on boss hunts.
Now, as a runner, you find Twin Harp at the top of tower. Do you look at the trap chest, or do you walk that out immediately? Pixel's answered that question.
Yeah, for me, you check these trap chests. That way you only have to come back here for a tower key. Maybe this gets you something like a Baron key or an Earth Crystal, so you can do some more boss checks on the overworld. before you start thinking about either going to the moon or going and doing like the Sylph Cave trap chest to get an influx of experience to get you the levels you want in order to start taking down those moon bosses.
Gotcha. Now, looking over at Rex's screen as he's fighting Alnab Z, his party looks a little worse for wear, but hopefully, that's a heavy hit on Alnab right there. But hopefully they should be just fine going into the second part of this fight. And so far, the trap chests on Pixel's side have turned up a cabin, which is, the cabin's always nice to have, and a protect ring, which is a good ring, but no additional progress.
Yep, but we got these last two here at the bottom. Great thing about the vanilla traps is they're all just in these little side rooms, so very easy to remember. As long as you remember that vanilla trap chests are on. When I was doing my practice seed earlier this week, I grabbed like 3 trap chests and kept being like surprised. I was like, man, that's vanilla. That's amazing. And after the third one, I went, oh. Right.
Nothing to see here, buddy.
I promise I know the flag set for the club that I made. I promise.
I will say, watching the flag sets evolve week after week in, week out, it's I've noticed that our runners tend to be gluttons for punishment. Seeing what some of these winners have put in week 1, our winner Dia put in the Fabul Gauntlet as required fight. There's been PK infamously put in no EXP a few weeks ago. So it's and again Phineas putting in the O-Mode Fiends. So it's been fun to see what they've been subjecting to each other. And plus the talk every week is, oh, if I win, this is going to be my flag set, or this is going to be my flag set, and just making people cringe with fear and anticipation. So it's been fun watching it evolve.
Yeah, so far, through the first 6 weeks, our winners have selected required Fabul Gauntlet, T-Wildish, Vanilla Fusoya, E No Experience, K-Trap, and O-Mode Fiends. So a couple people were nice, and then the rest of them were not.
I think it's a good thing that I'm absolutely dreadful at Free Enterprise, because my flag would totally be Vintage. Because I am heartless like that.
Vintage, aka the deal will not be racing in this race flag.
I would offer to be restreamed and just fly the Chocobo everywhere.
Vintage is not a restricted flag. No. Question from chat, so.
I've never run a Vintage seed, but I have seen the Vintage flag. It hurt my soul cavity. Zoe, what is Vintage? That's a question from chat, other than absolute beauty.
Vintage was our April Fool's, I believe it was the 2019 April Fool's flag that makes Free Enterprise into, or makes it look like and sound like an NES game. There's nothing wrong with that.
Basically, it makes what you're looking at the screen right now look like top of the line PC graphics.
It makes the battle layouts look almost like Final Fantasy 1, and all of the songs are recreated in the NES sound font, I believe. So some of the songs sound good.
The Chocobo theme does not.
It's a really cool flag. Like I unironically love it. Some runners don't, and it's understandable because it is also just a lot to take it.
I know the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, what game is this?" It's what? I play this.
The first time I saw it, it was Invenerable playing it, and there was a Golbez Antlion, and I was just so incredibly confused. That was what was happening.
Same. But with that fun note, Pixel Tamer is giving us our first taste of music for the night, so let's listen in to DJ Spoonie B with the latest and greatest tunes.
Oh, Pixel, go back, do it again.
Reset it, run it back, run it back.
So that was Bloody Tears. A fantastic song. It's a fantastic harp composition too. Plus we got the value of Kainazzo and the pass. It was very, very cool. I know that as soon as it started playing on harp, I looked over to my girlfriend and said, "Hey, we have Bloody Tears on harp tonight," and she just started humming it, and now it's stuck in her head.
Oh, there was an instant smile on my face. It's like there's not many songs on, or for the twin harp songs that I recognize instantly. That is one of them. And that is a fantastic rendition. Oh my gosh. I'm also very glad that Cave Magnus is required now for multiple reasons.
I was about to say, and it's double required, so we are going to get a reprise at some point during this race. So I'm very looking forward to that.
So, now that we've enjoyed that fantastic V1 event, Rex has picked up the package and has decided to not go to the package just yet, but thankfully is going to the tower, so he is going to be starting down that chain.
Question from chat: who put together the harp music anyway? Calamity has done the majority of the harp songs, I believe. I think there's a few that are Boardface creations, but the majority and all the new ones are done by the wonderful Calamity.
Yeah, I've watched some
all the way around. Oh, okay. Thank you, Scala. Board has done most of them. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen some of Calm streams as they've started producing some of these songs, and it is crazy what goes into fitting all these songs into just the condensed harp ability, or the condensed ability of the harp, and it's just, oh my gosh, it's fascinating. Sorry, I'm still in Bloody Tears.
Absolutely,
don't mind me.
No, it's fine, and I'm just gonna blame Scala's knack for overachieving. That made me confuse the fact that Scala has done the majority of the Z sprites with Calm doing the songs.
2/3 board, 1/3 Calm. Nice.
Gotcha. So great renditions. Both of them have done great work. Also, there's a Luca key that I missed the first time.
I picked that up a while ago. Yeah.
Look, I was just living in the future. I was already jamming to Bloody Tears at that point.
Exactly. It's like Rex is showing us the true final boss of Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, the inventory boss. So shoutouts to Boardface for Bloody Tears. That was a fantastic rendition of it. And looks like Pixel at 51 minutes and change is going to the moon to find out what characters do we have.
Heading to the moon, gonna get us a character check. There are 9 trap chests in the lunar subterrane. There is 1 in the lunar path, and then there is also going to be the key item check from Bahamut because K summon is on, and Bahamut is a summon location, not a moon location. I'm glad that
the true nature of duplicate speed. We have another Cecil.
Yep, the Cecil. I'm glad that Scala pointed out that Bloody Tears was a board, because I was going to guess the opposite, and I would have been wrong twice in one stream, which is about par for the course. But I want to save the second error for later.
Just banking them.
Yeah.
It's okay. Just be like me and go, I'm pretty sure every other thing I'm going to say has some falsehood in them, so we're just going to roll with it, YOLO. So here's where the fun picks up, and we start trying to find bosses in rude locations. What's probably making Pixel sweat a little bit is the fact that we have not found Valvalis yet, and a Valvalis on the moon can be just mean.
Find a dark elf. Probably has bloody tears stuck in his head.
Right?
After being banished from Cave Magnes to the moon with it. Wonder if this is a blood moon.
Maybe a horrible night to have to change.
Yeah. But we do have a Tele here, which will be nice. Once we hit the second form, we can just cast a single leak, and assuming it lands, a single melee attack will take it out from there.
You know, it's actually interesting that it just clicked in my head. Pixel still has not found a Rosa yet, so he's running with, well, Tela as the white mage, which with 90 MP would be kind of brutal.
Yeah, it's very interesting that we know that there's 2 available in early free character locations, Watery Pass and Damcyan. And while it's not a huge deal, you would think he can just go grab one later to get like maybe his last objective or on the way back down. If he clears out some of these moon bosses, he's not going to be getting the experience on that Rosa. He's not going to have access to something like a D Machine or Siren Grind.
It'll be interesting to ask Pixel Tamer when they do find a Rosa what their thoughts were about where those Rosas were found.
Yeah, I'm also a bit curious. Pixel Tamer is deciding to take this Dark Elf fight. This is not going to reward a key item. There's no chance for it to. We do not have K-Moon on. So likely just taking this fight for the experience before he dives down. Because this would have been something that I potentially maybe would have just face checked and then left as soon as it wasn't one of my bosses I was hunting. But a cool 50,000 experience is nothing to scoff at.
And worst comes to worst, Smapty gets another spear to add to the collection.
Chat saying forgot the no free coach flaggers off, maybe potentially, but he did run into the 2 Edwards in Mysidia.
Yeah, and that's something that, I mean, it happens to runners all the time, where there's so many unique flags that they're trying to keep in their head, keep everything situated, and all the objectives that sometimes things get forgotten. K-Main Summon Moon is a very common trio of flags we have on, so pretty much your regular vanilla objectives, all your moon bosses, all the summon locations, they all have potential to give key items. And as mentioned, the moon bosses do not give key items here. So that could just be something that Pixel is used to and didn't realize that, oh, it's actually off this time, or a trap is put on in its place. So it happens to a lot of people, so that wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah, and with the way that this flag set works, evolving every week, there's so many changes, whereas with like a tournament flag set or even one of the other clubs that's not named Sunday Slapdash, you can practice and you know the flag set when you're going in, and you can get used to what to expect. But unless you're doing practice seeds throughout the week, some of these flag editions, or even just the fact that they've been on for multiple weeks but you're not used to playing with them, can really kind of throw you off. Like I mentioned earlier, I've forgotten that vanilla traps were on, which completely threw me for a loop.
Listening to some runners that are competing tonight as they are preparing for this race, that's kind of the biggest flag that they're thinking about right now, is that the vanilla traps are in fact on. So I've seen people talk about pulling up charts or remembering, oh, okay, yeah, these are always going to be here. I don't have to keep looking. So yeah, even the most experienced of runners still have to remember where specific things are. But thankfully, Pixel has found a specific thing that he needs in the form of the Elements fight. And I missed if that was the Plague spot or the Deal-Winner spot.
I missed it as well, but judging by typical runner routing, this would be Ribbon Room because it does have the 2 key items. Obviously, Camoon is not on, but it's still fairly standard routing. But if chat wants to correct me, that'll be my my second wrong. Yeah, there we go. It's Plague. I'm out of incorrect statements for the rest of the restream.
I totally heard you say Plague spot. It's okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. Note to self.
Something Plague spot.
Edit the VOD so that I said Plague spot.
Now, is Plague Spot a relatively high, like, damage or physical damage, magic damage, something between? How is the Elements in Plague?
That is, if you were going to ask me about one boss spot on the moon, this would not be the one I would have that answer to. Because I always just think of this as easier than Ribbon Room. So I'm never concerned about this spot.
You know what? That's more than... that's a lot of spots actually for me. It's like, okay, I know this spot compared to this spot is easier, or this spot is brutal compared to that spot, and that's about the most in-depth version of that I know. So I'm cool with that. This Pixel Tamer is winding down with the Elements fight. It's just defeated the Elements. We have Rex checking the Chocobo Forest for some treasures, and most likely giving us our fantastic sequel to Bloody Tears of Bloody Tears Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Rex trying to remember how to get to the Chocobot.
Smitty, do you have enough spears? Asking for specifically Kane. That was another Dragoon spear.
So many spears. So we have...
This floor is gonna tank it.
So we have seen 5 characters, right? We still have 3 that are out there missing.
Characters, let's see here. We've seen Edge, Cecil, Tella, Rosa, Edward. Yeah, that's 5.
I think the only locations that we don't know would be Zot, Giant, Baron, and Sanderby bed.
Yes.
So there's still a chance that there's a Kane floating around somewhere.
Kane is getting hugs in the foo room. He has push me to jump perma on, so he just kind of hopped over everything and noped out.
All right, we are getting our reprise of Bloody Tears momentarily, so I'm going to sip my water and listen to the wonderful rendition.
Ditto. Can you please say the mystery objective is run the Cave Magnus back?
I wish. It would be fun to make one where they have to go in after credits and go back to Harp after having already listened to it. That'd be kind of cool. A post-game meta objective. That's a great song. And Smapty said that after I finish drinking my water, I should throw my glass. But it's a giant water bottle, but I will throw it, and hopefully the thump comes through the microphone.
It did. You're good. The thump heard round the stream.
Look, I am a simple NB. I see opportunity for a meme, and then I meme.
What do you think? While that was going on, I was like, what is a turtle but a miserable bowl of soup?
What is a Smapty but a miserable pile of spears?
I was like, where is this one going? Oh, wellness check. How's Leggy doing?
She's
okay?
She's doing her thing.
Ninja Pixel Tamer does look like they were doing Earthless Thought. They wanted to see the boss there, and it was just a water bottle.
I just realized why that question was asked, because Smapty said it sounded like a water bottle killed someone. No, I startled Amethyst.
Oh, jeez. But no, Rex is also doing the Flame Dog chest, because that has the potential for a key item. Which it wasn't, but it had the potential. Ooh! So would you like to explain what's going on Pixel Tamer?
Oh, I'm so happy. So one of the meta objectives this week is to defeat or win a battle versus Pink Puffs. Pink Puffs are an incredibly rare enemy. You can fortunately summon them with a siren. In the vanilla game, this is how you would get a pink tail, which you could then turn in for an admin armor. Their script is they start this Let's Dance, which will berserk your entire party and start playing fantastic music, including my favorite song in Final Fantasy IV. And upon winning, you get a nice stack of experience, if you could, as well as a huge stack of money, and a chance in Free Enterprise for a direct drop of an adamant armor, even when the no adamants flag is on.
And on a side note, if you look on Rex's screen, we have found our Valvalis in, I believe, the first spot in Tower of Zot.
That is a very, very good value. I am also I love the Pink Puff encounter exclusively for the soundtrack, like cycling that it goes through.
I will say the harp is definitely doing work by putting the Pink Puffs to sleep. That's actually kind of interesting.
I'd just like to point out that my girlfriend sat down to watch another Twitch channel, and apparently the level that was playing also has Bloody Tears as the music.
Well, everything's coming up Castlevania now.
It's all Bloody Tears, always has been.
It's like the seed knew that the pain and suffering that the runners would have to go through tonight. It's like, here, we're going to summarize your pain in a song. Have fun. Well, the question is, how many of the fiends has Rex found? I'm not sure if he's found all of them just yet, but I mean, if so,
I think we are missing Mylon Zed.
yeah, we are missing Mylon Zed. I'm not sure though if Rex has actually found the other 5 himself. So if chat or our tracker would be an absolute sweetheart. Well, that's a valid point. If Rex hasn't been to the moon, he doesn't have the elements fight yet, so there is that. Ah, and we have found a new character in the bed. We have Iridia.
No adamant drop from the Pink Puffs. Unfortunate, but if Pixel Tamer comes in the top 3, that is that meta objective met, so.
Looks like Rex was getting some information in Kaipo there. We had we had Rydia in the bed blocked by the Sand Ruby that we don't have. Some summons available for Rydia. And, oh, it looks like Rex is going to be getting some more info with potentially a package check after he does some shopping of his own.
Seems like Rex is very interested in clearing out as much on the Earth before going to the moon as possible, and I cannot blame that strategy. You've got the pass, which can make diving the moon, getting that full clear, and then coming back down pretty valuable. But if you happen to get your last bosses while you're up there, might as well just go down to Z if you have levels for it.
And so giving us a package boss check, it looks like he's heading back to either back or heading back to Feymarch. Meanwhile, on Pixel side, we have him fighting a very punchy purple doggo. So, looking at the lack of damage output on that Cecil, I'm curious what weaponry Cecil has and if he is back row glitched, because usually you don't see about 400 some damage on a Paladin Cecil.
He is back row glitched. I have seen Pixel Tamer equip a Dwarf Axe to him, but he could still have that Dwarf Axe on. Or, I didn't see what the attack animation was. I have delicious soup that I need. Oh.
He's good now.
Yeah, doesn't matter what he's wearing. He's not going to be wearing a Crystal Sword.
Oh, he had the Legend Sword equipped. That, oof.
That's a bit of an upgrade.
You know you're looking for items. But all you have is a Legend Sword? Well...
quote one of my favorite Disney movies, From Zero to Hero.
That's putting it very mildly. Well, we found a King Moon. That's a nice thing to find right there with King Queen Evelyn. But in this flag set, that's unfortunate. Looks like we'll be having a trap chest, words are hard, a trap chest fight on both sides. We have Rex dealing with Warrior Chest and Feymarch, while we have Pixel taking on the hair dryers. Because, again, words are hard. They're hair dryers, just different colors of the same brand.
I mean, clearly it's just the gendered hair dryers, which is why we're killing them. Oh,
Yeah, it sounds about right.
aggressively gendered products have no place in this universe.
You are not wrong in that regard. with the last hairdryer blown dry, we're going to see what that item is, and it is a key item with the pan, so that's a few more checks available for Pixel Tamer.
That's pretty good value. If one of those leads to, say, the Earth Crystal or the Baron Key, we know that Valvalis is up there. We don't know what was beyond that, so if something like Mylon Zed is in the Valvalis spot, then that...
Because the party would just insta-wipe right there.
It'd be too glorious. Too much for Mortal Eyes to handle.
Golbez flips his hair better than adult Rydia does when she's walking on the map.
Now all this needs to be complete is fan service-ness.
Or, you know, make Golbez a playable character.
These are the same photo. All right, seems like I'm doing solo commentary for the rest of the night.
Perfect time for comments to come back.
Hey, and the Stardust Rod.
It's like you'll get this little bit of value, and that's about it.
All these Stardust Rods for all these black mages that we don't have.
With you have Tella going, but I'm a black mage too. No, Tella, you're
a red mage who can't wield a sword.
You can't even cast all your spells. Ooh, interesting find on Rex's side with the Darkim's fight. The Earth Crystal, which he's probably not happy to see because he's already been there. But we do get access to the second boss now.
And also the treasury.
Ooh, that's a valid point. And with T Wildish, that could be a very spicy treasury.
Yeah, we could find like Masamune's crystal swords. Hey, Pixel Tamer found a Rosa.
Oh, I'm sure Pixel is very happy to find his first Rosa an hour and 18 minutes into this seed.
Yep, didn't. Was sitting there probably going, please don't be on the giant. Please don't be on the giant.
Finds Rosa there. Why weren't you just on the giant? Looks like Rex is taking the approach of, I'm in Feymarch, so let's just finish this off and see what I can find here with the CPU, which CPU is a very straightforward fight. It's very winnable, but it's a bit of a slog. You just have to remember to take out the defender so the defender can't heal your CPU, and then just wallop on the CPU itself. You want to leave that attacker up unless you want to deal with the Globe 199, which in most places will kill your party. I believe this is one of those places that fit into the most places category. And by party, I mean characters individually, because strats are hard.
It'll hit very, very hard here.
And on Pixel's side, we are getting that pan check, and we'll be finding out when you whack a punch mage with a pan, you get... How about a second crystal sword?
I mean, we had that second Cecil.
Most likely Pixel will be immediately heading to Sheila to get some goods there. Even the seed can't contain the amount of crystal swords currently in this seed. So, you got a crystal sword, but here's an inferior sword.
Like the Fisher Price crystal sword.
You're right. That's the dollar store in comparison.
One of those foam swords that you get.
Where the name of the character is spelled wrong and the character isn't even in the character that's supposed to be in there.
It says it's from a completely different game.
It's always fun when you can assert dominance by immediately selling the backup crystal sword in Excal.
Yep. It's even better when you sell them because it's on S quarter right now, so you didn't even get that much for them.
And Smapety getting another Dragoon Spear to add to the collection. That's at least specifically 3 Dragoon Spears. That might be more. I've stopped counting.
I think that's 4.
I know we've seen the White Spear, we've seen a Gungnir Spear, and we've seen a Drain Spear. Smapety, please. This is oops all.
If we can get a cane, then we'll get a spear.
Kane's gonna be duct taping spears to every part of his armor.
I am the spear. Quick edge, throw me.
Kane will be the spear that pierces the heavens. Interesting choice from Pixel Tamer's side. We are going to the Giant of Babel.
I like this. There's a trap chest here, which is a key item check. And then you can peek that first boss if you want to see if it's one of your fiends. If it's something you can take on, that's a huge boatload of experience. And then you can check the second boss and see if that's your fiend and be done with it. But now, like, when I mean too hard, I start wanting to commission art. I just want to get art of, like, Kane with a bunch of, like, spears taped to his body, just talking to Edge, saying, Edge, throw me. And Edge is just looking confused.
In, like, a DBZ power-up pose.
Yes, exactly.
Looks like Rex has found the room with the 6 trap chests in the Sylph Cave, and Pixel's fighting the lone trap chest in Tower Battle with the Last Arm.
Yep, pretty straightforward. It'll cast this search, and then it'll cast magnet, which will paralyze your party member, and after a while it'll cast fission, which will do some party-wide damage. Cecil should be able to survive it, no problem though. Or you can just skip the fission part. That works too.
Pixel's in a rush to get EXP for Rosa.
Understandable.
Speaking of duplicates, I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd or 4th Leviathan summon.
So Leviathan summons and spears. Can we just stick the Leviathan summons on the end of the spears and then throw them and cause that to cast Levia?
Right?
Oh.
Looks like it is the recurrence where Octomam gets to show off all 8 tentacles. In.
This is also obnoxious because you've got a crystal sword and Octomam is resistant to holy weapons.
Really?
Yeah, Octomam is weak to the Dark Knight weapons to make it seem like Cecil in the early game is more powerful. And as a result, is also resistant to holy damage. So you notice that Crystal Sword Cecil swung for 1200 damage.
Well, I mean, yeah. It's also just like, oh, come on now.
I feel like Octomam would have been better in the CPU spot, because then Octomam could have used 2 tentacles each to control each of the limbs of the giant robot, kind of like a Megazord situation.
Either that or like the super cannon room where it's just like each tentacle is controlling one of the terminals. And this is a fairly rude spot in terms of health, because this is the element spot, correct?
Yeah, this is 65,000 hit points.
Oof.
It's not going to be too bad, because after you get it down to just the 1 tentacle, Octomam is going to be going very slow. So as long as you can kind of win the battle of attrition here, with swinging in with like 3k from this edge while you have Cecil covering, shouldn't be too bad.
And what's nice is Rex has opened up, well, it has access to the Coco shop. He just found the Adamant Rock. It's not required to go there and forge yet another 5,000 Excalibur, but it is a very, very good item shop. So I'm curious to see if Rex goes there and checks out what they have for sale.
So with S Wildon, the Coco shop is kind of terrible.
Fair enough then.
It is.
Yeah. It's a East or S Standard S Pro kind of thing.
Yeah, if you go there with S Wild, it just picks basically like 4 to 6 items from the game and sticks them there, and it doesn't matter if it's a good item or not. So you can get a pretty lousy shop from forging.
So I'm guessing it's going to be 4 different types of spears then.
Oh, I hope so.
And another Leviathan summon. Just 4 drain spears from Snakedeep. The Seed Roller has spoken.
Why are you shopping for sirens at the Drain Spear store?
And so far, the 3 of the 6 chests that Rex has found, we've gone through there. We've seen the Adamant Rock and not much else. Hopefully, Pixel Tamer finds something interesting in the second boss fight, because with that, sushi is on the menu because Octomam has been defeated.
Huzzah! Nice, good chunk of experience there. This Rosa getting a slingshot bonus, getting a whole bunch of spells from that, and now we'll get to see. Is there extra value hiding here in the giant? Are we going to see Mylon Zed? Or are we going to see who it is and reset out? I kind of want to see Pixel Tamer beat whoever it is regardless for the experience, so we can also see who this character is. Also, I'm surprised you didn't call out the fact that Rex got the spoon.
What? I was looking at characters. Spoon! Oh, he doesn't have an Edward, though. Oh. Rex. You better get Edward. Grumble, grumble. You have like 8 to choose from hiding behind your pile of spears. Get one.
Asuka may like the spoon.
Might be a card-carrying, high-ranking member of the Edward fan club, yes.
Saying you're a member of the club that you founded and are the only member of is a bit disingenuous.
I don't like being in the spotlight. I'll put the spotlight on Edward himself.
As a true fan club member would say.
You could say I would hide from the spotlight.
Question from chat: how does the Fiends mode interact with the crystal? So basically, it puts 6 additional objectives into your objective list. So there's actually 11 objectives technically in this seed, and because it is a required all, they must do all of them and find them all in order to get their crystal.
And actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with the spoon, because of course spoon is awesome. That puts Rex, and with the sand ruby, that puts Rex at 10 and 11 key items. And interestingly enough, Pixel is only at 8 key items. So Rex will be getting a bonus influx of XP now that he's reached the 10 key item limit. Pixel is still looking for that little bit extra to go.
Pixel Tamer has gotten some good experience from his moon dive and that giant dive. Looks to be coming here probably to get some of these trap chests to round out his experience. And then I wonder if he's going to be maybe heading back towards the moon to take down some of those trap chests, looking for the tower key or maybe the Baron key to try and get some more boss spots.
Yeah, because in the grand scheme of things, there's not too many boss spots left. I mean, you have the moon bosses, you have Odin Throne, you have the Baron Throne.
We have 2 particular ones still out there that we've both mentioned earlier. We have the package boss, and we have King Queen Eblin, but we don't have a hook yet.
And we also, I don't think we've seen the sealed cave boss either.
That is also correct.
That would be the icing on the cake for Mylon Zed to just kind of hide in one of those really mean spots.
What took you so long, guys?
It's like, I gave you the Luca key so early. I gave you the package so early.
You've had the package for so long. You didn't want another Edward? I thought that would entice you enough to come say hi.
Here's the funny thing, because Rex hasn't checked the package, and we know it's Edward. Rex has the spoon now. What does he do?
If he had a better opportunity to level the Edward once he gets around to peaking that, I think he would take the Edward. But he'll probably be done with his moon dive by that point, and with no experience, there's not much more experience to go around by that point. So
fair.
I think he would want the Edward, but he will not take the Edward.
And what's interesting is for all the crystal swords, and we've seen the Avengers, he actually just got an Avenger sword recently, he said no to the Cecil.
Rex hasn't found either of the crystal swords yet.
Oh, gotcha.
One is in an LSD trap chest, and the other was, I believe, from the Sylphs.
Yeah, yeah, because the Silphscape crystal and then into discount third party crystal sword.
Crystal sword with a K.
And an E at the end.
Or better yet, it's La Crystal. It's like a seltzer that's just, it smells vaguely of Crystal Sword.
It drove by the location where the crystal sword was. And in the packaging, it's just a spear. Scotland chat, La Crystal X.
La Crystal Wall. We have fun here in Free Enterprise.
Yep. Mostly because we're not running this right now. But it's been long enough. I'll do another obligatory shout out to the wonderful people behind the scenes, with Smapty rolling this Oops All Spear seed, Cairo doing the massively difficult job of tracking all of these 11 objectives, Scala Kitty for doing this fantastic layout that you see here, Zoe for creating this wonderful, like this whole setup and flag set, and being a fantastic co-commentator. Crystal Pepsi, heck yeah. Blech. But give a shout out, or give a follow to all of these people, our wonderful runners. There's so many people that are running this in addition to Pixel and Rex. And if you want to get involved, do check out our Discord. We have a lot of friendly people there. We only bite on days that end in Y. And and I will say, you see people that are really good racing this. Zoe is a fantastic runner of herself. But if you're new to this, don't be scared. Because on the opposite side of Zoe, I'm dreadful at this. And I haven't gotten kicked out of here yet. This community is the most welcoming community that I've been a part of, no matter what your experience level is. And we always love having new people, both racing, playing for funsies, and even helping out in the Restream team. So definitely check out the Discord, give follows to everybody. And yeah, so Magus Sisters. I'm done.
Yeah, don't forget to, like, you deserve credit too. You're a fantastic commentator. I enjoy watching you play. Even if you don't consider yourself to be a good racer, you do have skill at this game. Don't sell yourself short. And you're one of our valued restreamers and one of our restream leads. So we definitely appreciate you, and we keep you around because we like you, Asuka.
I'm just here to shine the spoon.
Also, Scala points out that Scala also does the Twitter thing. She's our Twitter overlord.
Scala pretty much does everything. She is the true final boss of Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise.
No matter how much I tell Scala to rest, she does not. Hey, Vanilla Toad Lady. Love it. I love... Hey, yeah, go figure. This is me being surprised about a flag that I've talked about a bajillion times. I looked away for a second and forgot that. Trapchest or Vanilla. I'm gonna keep talking and making the situation worse for myself. Quick, Pixel Tamer, kill the toads, kill the Toad Lady, get me out of here!
Can we just talk about how absolutely cute both the tiny toads are and the tinier toads are that are in the party? How they each get their own little unique color and everything. Also, I see that tab in chat. We don't speak of that.
So Scala points out that the frogs are actually connected to the palettes for the characters.
I noticed that, and for the piggies too. I love the piggy snout colors are different.
Scala does a lot of great work, and there's a lot of detail that goes into her creations, especially the fab palettes. The minis are also colored for the palettes.
As you notice, the characters themselves all have palettes that might not be what you're used to in a vanilla Final Fantasy IV run. Particularly on Rex's side, you can look at I believe that's the Len from Chrono Trigger sprite on the bottom Liz, and top Liz is one of my favorites, the neon blue one. And of course, there's an obligatory Scala themed palette for Rosa herself.
That Scala palette is absolutely amazing, and I always make sure that as soon as I see it, I add it to my party no matter what.
It's like, as much as I love blue on anything, the Blood Queen Rosa is pretty amazing too. Just the black and red robes of terrifyingness. Oh, yep, talk about messing up names. Yeah, the Marl palette, because, yeah, you're not the only one that makes mistakes here. I make more than you.
I'll share some mistakes with you. It's fine. You can have little mistakes as a treat.
And Rex sighing over another Dragoon Spear. But getting rid of that elements thing. And yep, he is looking for Mylon Zed and nothing else.
Yep, he's like, okay, where is the Canadian Scrummellion hiding tonight?
Nice. Now, at this point, is Rex just face-checking every single boss location? Like, does he have a reason to do anything else?
So he wants to face check as many boss locations as possible, but he needs to keep in mind that the LST does have trap chests that can give him key items, which could be like a tower key or a baron key, or a hook that would unlock more boss checks. So he may not want to completely disregard the LST aside from bosses.
Gotcha. But we get to see who is in the Ogopogo spot today, and it is going to be the waterlogged noodle.
Yeah, I believe we saw this on Pixel side a bit earlier.
You are correct.
But it is a vanilla noodle location with a different noodle. Instead of the nope rope, we got the danger noodle.
Again, interestingly enough, Rex is actually taking this fight. K-Moon is not on, so this won't give a key item.
Might just want a hair more of experience. This is a pretty good experience location, with especially when you have 10 key items. Get your Rosa's HP a bit up to get to a slightly more safe value for Zeromus, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Pixel will be thankfully taking on those Dark Imps, and will, if successful, will get his Earth Crystal, so he'll have access to the entirety of Tower of Zot. Remember, we've only seen the first boss in that location. We have yet to see the second.
And a small peek behind the curtain here, for anyone wondering. Normally I wouldn't mention it, but to this point, we have not had any finishers off stream either. So this feels like this Mylon Zed is not necessarily somewhere obvious, and it might be hidden behind something that is a bit trolly.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. We don't, the runners, they can see when people finish. They don't see each other's streams or whatnot, but they do post their duns in the race room. And you can very easily metagame by seeing who's done and who's not done. So at this point, you're an hour 40 some minutes in, and you haven't seen any duns. Are you starting to think, maybe I should take a risk on one of those annoying spots like the package, like Luca Key or the Sealed Cave, or do you just kind of keep doing what you're doing right now?
So right now, I would feel like if it was behind the package or like the Luca Key, I feel like those would have been checked and gambled by somebody. And so I would think that maybe I need to find this tower key or this baron key in order to get finished. However, I'm also the type of racer who does not watch the race room until I'm literally on my Zeromus fight. So that information would prove useless to me. I'm a very anxious racer.
Yeah, on the flip side, yesterday during the weekly community race, I was eating during the race with tea empty. I already knew I was in last place, so I did a wonderful rate that treasury and got some interesting reactions from that. We were having a grand old time there.
Yeah, in the Monday edition of that community race, Daphis and I, prior to being on the restream together, had a gentle person's agreement to check an empty treasury. So that was very fun.
Getting member of chat saying an LST trap chest could have the Baron key, which leads to the tower key, and that could be where Mylon Z is. That would be a funny rabbit hole.
Yeah, it absolutely would be. And because it seems we've reached the part of the restream where we're talking about random occurrences as the runners kind of overlap and retrace each other's steps, I do just want to mention, because we just talked about the community races, that we do have a twice weekly community race. The flag jet does change each week. Those are restreamed, one on Free Enterprise and one on Randomania, one of our partner networks. But we also have many other clubs throughout the week. We rotate who is featured on the restreams each week, aside from Legacy, which is restreamed every week. So if this is your first exposure to Free Enterprise, first of all, I apologize that this very chaotic flag set is what you may think of as the norm. It most definitely is not, but there are clubs and races for all levels of play. New players and experienced players alike. If you've not played much Final Fantasy IV in a vanilla sense, it's not that hard to pick up. If you're a FF4 speedrunner, you'll fit right in.
Agreed. It's always fun getting people to, or just looking at the different servers within the Discord, talking everything from the general chat to the newbie corner, where if you have a burning question that you're thinking, okay, yeah, everyone's going to know the answer, and I'm going to feel kind of awkward asking it, don't ask. Like, there's so many people, including the people that you see in the racing right now, answering those questions. Like, yeah, there's a lot of resources out there, guides, charts, you name it, it's there.
Yeah, I know the Newbies Corner is a fantastic channel. When I first joined the community a little bit less than a year ago, I used it pretty extensively, and even like to this point, you'll see veteran racers come in and ask questions, because there's just so much about this game that even the most veteran among us can still learn things by asking questions. And everyone's always so nice. If you ask a question that's been asked a million times before that you think is the most like simple question, but you just don't know the answer to and don't know where to look, we're not going to judge you. We're here to help you out. We want you to succeed. That's what this community is about, is lifting everyone else up, and it's just so fantastic.
And you know, much like Legacy to a longer timeline extent, Free Enterprise itself has evolved over time. I mean, the objectives is, in the grand scheme of things, still relatively new within the past. I know it started before I joined the community, but originally it was just kind of hunting to forge the crystal, or even just finding the crystal to get to Z. So I mean, things change all the time. Things get reworked, items scores change, and everybody's learning at the same time. I mean, if you look at the most recent tournament we had, Highway to the Threema Zone, we essentially made it, the flag set was designed to not be generous for doing the standard D machine grind, which you won't see in this particular flag set, but it's a really good way to get an influx levels in a single fight. Well, within a very short time period, members of the community got together and they found a way to still manipulate that fight, even factoring in those flag sets, preventing the normal way of doing it. So I mean, strats are always changing, people are always learning, and it's fascinating to see the community as a whole evolve.
Collaboration is one of the biggest things in Free Enterprise. There's very little behind the idea of like developing your own strategy and then hoarding it so only you have it. No, we share what we find, and we try and make it better and refined, and then create guides and create charts and flow charts and put that out there so that everybody can get better. It's a fantastic community that way. I believe the objective system was implemented just prior to the Football Gauntlet, so it's only about a year old itself. But I joined right as the Football Gauntlet was starting to get into its bracket stage, so I am not an expert there. Yeah, and you can also just lurk. If you just enjoy watching, the Discord is open. You can find a link in chat shortly, because I'm assuming Scala will post it, but also on our website if you're watching on YouTube. And you just want to talk about the game, even if you have no intention of like playing it or racing, you just want to talk about the races that you've seen, or you have a question about how something worked, you're welcome as well. We're very, very open and accepting. And we have another Edge and another Rosa. Where are the rest of our characters?
Telling you, they're in the food room. They took that vacation sprite to heart. But we do get to see the second boss in the Tower of Zot, so this could be monumental for Pixel, or it could just be.
This if this is Mylon Zed, this will make that early play from Rex.
Oh, not Mylon Zed. That is a powder tossing wyvern, which of the characters to get hit by the shades, Edge is not necessarily the ones you want to see.
Yeah, that's you see wyvern, and if you forget Witchburn is on, like I always do, I basically would go to throw up a Star Veil, and then he throws out something else. I'm like, oh, right, when I wished a Star Veil. Wyvern used allergies. Get these edges some Benadryl.
Well, unfortunately for Pixel Tamer, that is not a Mylon Zed, but we do, I believe, get to see the key item soon. And Rosa gets exit, which doesn't really matter because he has a Cecil that already has exit, but now Rosa feels like has a little bit of significance with the exit strat too. And Rex giving all of us a heart attack there for a hot second by starting a new game instead of choosing the correct save.
Well, he liked the seed so much he just wanted to play it again.
Ooh, interesting find on Pixel side.
Ooh, that gets us King Queen Eblin. At this point, if you are watching the race room, I think this is something you go check right away.
Surprisingly, he's not. However, he is checking the sealed cave, which is another one of those kind of annoying out there spots.
Yeah, I don't hate this. You can always reset out of this if you need to. At this point, aside from the Tower Key and Baron Key, which I believe very necessarily have to be in LST Trap Chest at this point, your boss spots that you have available to look for or look at are very limited.
Yeah, I believe you're correct. There's not... I can't think of any non-currently gated spots aside from the LST. We've already seen the hair dryers. We've seen a couple of the LST chests, but no Baron Key, no Tower Key yet.
I know that the randomizer generates randomly, but for some reason, whenever I'm on a boss hunt, it feels like probably 60% of the time it ends up in the Super Cannon room. So I'd be really looking for that Tower Key right now.
Yeah, and plus the nice thing about the Super Cannon room is it's in the grand scheme of vanilla, I believe it's a fairly early fight, so it has very low HP and a quick fight, especially for the characters at levels they are.
Yeah, it's not necessarily an early fight, but it's just 3 Dark Imps in vanilla and without any sort of HP modification, so that it just has an incredibly low hit point value. It is like the epitome of just a story fight.
Also, I love the blue lipstick and hooves on the pig, or the blue snout and hooves on the pig.
I know, they're so cute. It reminds me, I have a pig plushie that I bought from Kohl's when I used to work there, and it never had a name until I moved in with Leggy Star Scream. and we started watching for Enterprise. And because of Piggy Pally strats, he has been named Cecil.
I like it.
Pixel Tamer sitting here going, "Ah, there's another Rosa here."
It's like I could have used these a while ago. But yeah, Pixel did show us that the sealed cave only has an Odin seal behind its sealed door. So Pixel immediately going to the hook route to try to figure out who's in King Queen Upland spot. If I remember correctly, there is one trap chest on the route to the hook bosses, if I'm correct.
Two. There's one in Cave Eblin and one in Upper Babel.
Okay, gotcha.
There will be one in the save room here in Cave Eblin, and then in Upper Babel, the kind of isolated one that's across a long bridge will be the Mad Ogre's chest.
Yeah. Good. Well then.
Oh, hey, there's another one of our characters.
And given the fact that Vanilla Fusoya is on, I'm pretty sure any single runner that finds Fu at this point of the game, 2 hours in, is going, I could have used you an hour and 54 minutes ago.
Yeah, could have used you so long ago, especially because C Relaxed is on. You could have appeared anywhere. Why'd you have to be here?
It's also not every day you see a Fu go away that quickly.
Yeah. Pixel Tamer saying, "No, I'm still playing 3 Miss Zone. You're not allowed. Go away."
But interesting note, Pixel did not check the trap chest, at least not yet. So he could just be going straight to that boss to see who we have there. Oh, check this one.
Yeah, what I think could be happening here is check this trap chest on your way to the boss. If you check the boss and it's not what you want, and this trap chest didn't give you something, you can just, if he saved at the save point, he can just reset back out and then walk right over to check that other one, and then exit out afterwards. I didn't see if he did the save there.
I know
but
he was in the room. I would like to assume that he saved, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay. Scythe Marshall check that he did in fact save.
Yeah, so I have to imagine that's the kind of routing that he's thinking here. But if this rewards like the Baron Key or Tower Key, then he's gonna have to walk it out regardless.
And it's just a cat claw.
Easy. So if this isn't Zed, it's a very easy reset to not have to trek all the way back through Upper Babel.
And Rex currently retracing Pixel steps up the tower of, or the giant, excuse me. And we'll be getting our little double check of that, and then we'll be shortly seeing if there is value in King Queen Evelyn.
All right, here we go.
That is not value at all.
No, that is a mom bomb.
And you're right. Instantly saves come back to that previous save and is checking this stallion chest.
I sometimes make good routing decisions. It's not often, but I sometimes do.
Ooh, it looks like the hook route was a dud. So, about that package.
I think at this point, you've got to go check this package. You've let it sit. You need to go check it. And then after that, we are looking for Baron Key, Tower Key. But it looks like someone did find Mylon Zed, because we have our first place finisher. Jeebus has finished the race with a time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 47 seconds.
So GG's to Jeebus. I'll be very curious to see where this Mylon Z turned out to be. Oh, it looks like Pixel is fading the package still and is checking the moon once more.
Yep. And with that, Jeebus will be getting the choice for a flag change for next week's flag set. So Oscar did the talking while I DM Jeebus. Hold on.
Oh, fantastic. Hi, chat. How are you? No, what's actually interesting is looking at, with the Legacy flag set, in the first place winner getting to choose the flag set of their flag of choice. It's actually been kind of cool that there has not been a repeat winner for any week thus far. We had, let's see, a Stone Dingley 1 week 2, Flurry 14 1 week 2, 1 week 2. I can't count past 2. I'm sorry. Week 3 was Long Guys. PK 477 was week 4. Fifth week was Xenocat, and last week was Judgment Phineas. And Jeebus is now the newest member of that winning team. And as I've started talking, Roger, no, because I would like to. I'm not Gabe Newell because I would like to see Half-Life 3. We do have a second place finisher, so Mylon Z is starting to show up for people's games. Roger McBain has ended up finishing second place with a time of 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 18 seconds. So GG's to Roger McBain. I'm sure they're very happy to have finally found that Mylon Z. But yeah, it's been pretty interesting to see how, like I said, we haven't had a repeat finisher or repeat first place person. And yeah, just the changes that the winners have made so far. Every single time somebody has turned a flag on, when Zoe comes back, we can ask her if they can turn flags off as well as on.
I am back.
Oh, hi. So can the winners choose to turn flags off, or is it only a turn flag on situation?
So they can turn on a flag, they can turn off a flag, or if a flag has like multiple variants or options, they can modify a flag. So they can do basically whatever they want within a small set of restrictions. There are some flags that cannot be touched. And there are also anything that was put into place last week. So starting for this race, they cannot touch those either. Flags have to persist through at least 2 races.
Gotcha. And we have rounded out our top 3. Dr. Cossack has come in 3rd place with a time of 2 hours and 41 seconds. So GG's to our top 3 with Jeebus, Roger McBain, and Dr. Cossack. This is a pretty crazy seed. So congrats on finding your Mylon Z.
Yeah, GG's to all of our top 3 finishers. I will be touching base with them to see if any of the meta objectives were met. I still need to proof check this one, but according to Jeebus, he did kill the pink puffs, so that meta objective was met with an asterisk for. Got to double check.
What's nice is when the new flag set comes out for the next week, it's not like a come out and then you have 1 hour to prepare. Zoe is very good at getting the new flag changes out very quickly for people to practice them throughout the entire week, because again, as you've seen, there's a lot to take in here.
The winners have until the start of the community race on Monday to let me know what their change is, at which point I put together all the flag changes, compile them, and reveal them for our racers to have as many days as possible to practice.
Now, this might be peeking a little bit too far behind the curtain, so if you're not allowed to answer, you don't want to, that's totally cool. But, so, since you're the game master, you can change the flags yourself. Do you have your changes, like, in mind before the start of each race? Or is it kind of, you see what the winner's flag changes, you see what, if any meta objectives were completed, and then kind of make your changes accordingly?
So it's a little bit of both. I try not to play off of the winner's flag choice too much. what I tend to have is I kind of look at the race and how it went down, and if there's anything that I saw that I feel needs to be like adjusted in any way, I try and implement that, just to kind of keep things fresh and tone down some of the potential trolliness. But for the most part, they're independent of like the meta objectives and the winner's flag changes. If the winner hits something that I was planning on doing, then I just change that plan to something else. But yeah, for the most part, my changes come in last. But I try and think throughout the week and throughout watching the race, what is it that I have in mind for changing?
Makes sense. And well, it looks like we're starting to get more people to finish their flag sets. Possmorpheus has finished in 4th place at 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 58 seconds. GG to Possmorpheus. And while we're talking, Pixel is now rounding out the trap chests for the LST. So he's running out of options, and I think he's realizing it. And with Rex using a cabin right by the Enterprise, it kind of makes me think he's going to be looking at a boss location, maybe?
I feel...
Or just landing in the mountains?
Yeah, going... apparently Rex attended the Silverfire School of Airship Piloting. I say that with much love, because Sil makes similar input errors, and it was contagious, and I started doing it, and so I started blaming them.
Seems legit. And Rex starting to do his out-of-the-way checks with the sealed cave right now. We know, unfortunately, it is a bit of a dud, but hopefully, I'm really hoping to see who's behind that package, personally. My curiosity needs to be satiated at this point, but well, unfortunately, Rex get the bad news pretty soon that this is not the cave he's looking for.
Yeah, part of me like this Scythe Marshall in chat's saying that it's I think it's package. I'm leaning against that because I got the package so early. I feel like a gamble could have come in that would have gotten that much sooner. I'm thinking it's in the Super Cannon room, maybe from Baron, from one of these LSD trap chests.
I'd like to see the Odin spot, personally. Like, that's kind of what I'm leaning for right now, because most people will do the 2 Baron fights. Odin spot can be surprisingly trolly, so yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Flurry didn't think it was very trolly, though, with finishing in 5th place with a time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, 56 seconds, but yeah, so I agree it's probably gated in one of these LST chests for sure.
So GG's to Flurry, GG's to our top 5. Snake D sure rolled a doozy tonight, especially with that Magna Key start with Darkness in the Feymarch chest. Just saying, all right, cool, figure it out. When a seed is that wide open, it can be a bit of a double-edged sword, even when you have double edges.
Ooh, Rex is checking that package, so let's see what happens. He's going for it. Normally by now people would see that Edward, and they'd go,
oh no!
So, in my heart, I'm hoping it's behind Edward, because in the end, it was Edward I could see people noping out of package because it's Edward.
I'm just sad that one of the petrified twins burned down the Village of Mist with petrified fire.
Oh, okay. I changed my mind. I'm really hoping it's behind this Edward, because that is my favorite Edward sprite palette. So, I'm rooting for you, Bard. Don't fail me.
And we have our sixth place finisher. I can't talk. Antidale finished with a time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 34 seconds. GG's to Antidale.
We get the very slow walk to Kaipo as we bring everyone's favorite Spoony Bard to bed, and we will see. We'll hope for a purple robe. That is what Rex is hoping to see right now, is a purple robe. In addition to the best character of the game, biased opinion.
You're just doing your best to recruit more members for that fan club, aren't you?
Of course. That is not a purple robe.
No, that is a bunch of dolls.
No, Edward, I didn't see you playing with your dolls again.
I was thinking the same quote. So yeah, then that means that it is behind an LST trap chest. Pixel Tamer did get the rat tail, which could lead to, say, the Baron key into the tower key, or vice versa. So Pixel Tamer might be finding his final objective very soon.
And Rex is going back to check that second boss character in the Tower of Zot. Remember, he did the first spot early, which turned out to be value with, I believe, Valvalis up there. But because he didn't have the Earth Crystal at the time, the second boss remained unknown.
Dr. Cossack asking in chat, looking for Mylon Z. GG's on your third place finish, by the way.
Yeah, as it turns out, both our runners on stream right now are looking for that Mylon Z.
Yeah, Rex had the Galaxy Brain early on to check the Mega Sister spot and found the Valvalis. And there's the tower key.
There's the tower key.
So if this is the ultimate troll, this will lead to not the Mylon Z in Super Cannon, but it'll be Baron key with Mylon Z on Odin's spot. That's what you're hoping for, right?
I mean, if I want to be an extreme horrible person, if Pixel has LST trap chests that they have not checked yet...
Oh no.
But yeah, for the sake of our runner's sanity, I'm sure Pixel is really hoping that's behind that super cannon. Especially because with the super cannon check, it's not just a beat the boss and get the key item. You have to walk it back out, watch things burn down, set things on fire, get rescued, then you get your key item.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be here. As I mentioned earlier, boss hunts 60% of the time tend to be in Super Cannon and My Seeds. I didn't roll this one, but I'm involved with the restream, so I think that luck carries over. I think that's how this works.
Close enough. Ooh.
Well,
it could get Baron Key still, but I'm not sure if all the lunar boss spots been checked already or no.
I think all the lunar boss spots have been checked. So I think at this point the only boss spots that we do not know are the Baron Throne and the Odin Throne.
And I will ask, 2 hours 11 minutes in, have either of our runners on stream completed the question mark meta objective?
I will not say.
Without saying what it is. Okay, fair.
And the main reason I will not say is because if they had completed it, the fact that they're not going to finish in top 3 would not impact it for next week. And then people could maybe try and analyze the VOD to figure it out. So,
gotcha. Also, Plumerian Knight has done their 11 objectives and defeated Z with a 7th place finish in a time of 2 hours, 12 minutes, 10 seconds. GG to Plumeria. It's a secret to almost everyone, says the person who knows the secret. JK, love you, Scholar. And no, Dr. Cossack, the question marks have not been revealed.
Oscar. That was a white robe. Smatey, it's okay. It's okay. Siren is not going to take your job of rolling seeds from you. You didn't have to do this.
Meanwhile, I'm over here going, Smatey, I love it. Keep doing it. Well, has Pixel? No, Pixel's done Dwarf Castle.
Maybe buying some more Bacchus wines.
I mean, over 2 hours in, it's getting a little bit hard to remember things. But
I'm just surprised I remembered Bacchus wines were here.
But we have an 8th place finisher, Zoe.
Yeah, Dragus has finished in 8th place with a time of 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 36 seconds. So GG's to Dragus. Smatey,
Yeah.
you've done messed up. Rivers is enjoying this.
Yeah, Smatey's job is officially secured.
I mean, Scala,
right.
that's currently doable. I just have to talk to Dark Paladin about allowing Siren, like, to not be ignored.
I will say at this point, Pixel is probably pulling his hair out right now, going, "What chests haven't I checked yet?" Because I believe he's checked a few of them, but not all of them.
Yeah, and I will say that of all the trap chests in the game, the LST trap chests are the ones where I don't exactly remember, and I always have to look at a map to remember where the vanilla locations are, so. Smatey says if we get the bots rolling seeds, then we can say goodbye to handcrafted artisanal garbage like this. No, you've not yet met Siren. Siren is as sassy as any Restream game member. She would consistently roll like factory line artisanal garbage. Yeah, it looks like Pixel Tamer has the same problem I do. Where are the trap chests again?
Right? Now, I know that there's chests on the crystal floor portion, excuse me, of the LST. Are there trap chests that far deep or no?
There is a trap chest past the Masamune altar.
Oh, jeez. I'm suddenly hoping that that's where value is. Ooh, and Pixel is just realizing, hey, I have a package. Maybe this will save my sanity. Narrator, it will not.
The hook was the reward from Tower of Zot, I believe.
Yes.
Also, Rex does have the hook. I know there's been a lot of buttons for our tracker, and it's very easy to forget things. There's a reason I don't track anymore. For some people, tracking is the easiest job. For other people like me, tracking is the hardest of the 3 jobs.
Yeah, tracking's easy until you're tracking. It's like, oh, heck.
I maybe redeemed one of my mistakes from my next commentary session, because according to Dr. Cossack, there's not a trap chest that low. I'm just misremembering.
It's like trying to think back. Are there any obscure or bizarre trap chests that our runners, for some reason, missed? Like outside the LST chest? I don't think so. But at this point, no idea.
And we have our 9th place finisher. Aegis has finished with a time of 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 11 seconds. So GG's to Aegis. Yeah, I don't think there's any out of the way trap chests left. I think it's literally just a handful more in the LST that have to have that Baron key.
And are they all in the LST, or are there any in Cave Bahamut?
There are none in Cave Bahamut. There are 10 total on the moon, 1 in the lunar path, which is the hair dryers, and then 9 in LST.
Okay. So hopefully that means Pixel's suffering might be coming to an end.
Rex is saying, I don't want to walk back out. Let me just beat this boss and just take the cutscene out.
Sounds about right.
Bedward was checked. Bedward had a
samurai arrows.
Samurai arrows, yeah.
Don't ask why I remember that from the beginning of the game.
Hey, I remember the Bacchus one. You're allowed to remember the Samurai arrows. Yes, you can do that. If you just have K-Trap on without vanilla trap chest, that's how it's normally done. It so happened that one of the meta objectives was met, which turned on vanilla trap chests, and then Xenocat, when they won their week, they enabled K-Trap to balance out the no EXP that PK enabled, because trap chests with K-Trap with vanilla traps and no EXP gives you a viable way to get experience.
So Pixel is taking on one of the behemoth chests that he neglected the first time, while Rex is getting yet another ship to add to the collection, because
Yep. And Seth Marshall mentions that another way to make that more bearable is with TMT, which is true. That is what we have or had during this past week's community race. We had TMT with K-Trap. So if you saw a trap treasure chest that was closed, you knew it was a trap chest.
a very newbie-friendly combination for people that have no idea what trap chests are. You're like, oh, okay, it's right there. I found it. See, it's right there.
Yeah, especially when you have like S-Wild free on and like no G items, so you can't pick it. Oh, Baron Key!
We have found our Baron Key. Now, which throne is Mylon Zed usurping today? The Baron throne? Odin throne.
I feel like, man, this is kind of rough. I feel like what you have to do is do Odin's spot first. You've got the power to make it a very easy fight, and then you can just walk back and check the other, and don't have to come back into Baron Castle.
Makes sense.
But we finally get to take out that water hag that we've known's been there for 2 hours and 21 minutes. This would only have been worse if we had known that Mylon Zed was at like the Bygone spot and we just didn't know where the Baron Key was.
Oh God. That'd be But, ooh. So we had a very interesting 10th and 11th place combo finish. Microchords sniped 10th place with a time of 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 47 seconds. Solaris finishes 1 second behind in 11th place at 2:21:48. GG's to Microchords and Solaris both.
Yes, huge GG's, especially when it's a seed this long. It's always very entertaining to see times that close between two racers.
And chat, I'm curious what your thoughts are. Which throne do you think that we're going to find Mylon Zed in? The Baron throne or the Odin throne?
My money is on Baron throne. That's where I'm putting it.
In that case, I will go Odin throne to be different.
Do you want to put 10 cookies on it?
No, because the only cookies I ever get is from streaming. And I've been giving out all my cookies. Though it would be funny if this was actually the Old Gauntlet instead of Water Hag. but I'm also a horrible person, so it works out.
Okay, do you want to put 10 cookies on it now?
Oh, heck. Okay, we'll put 10 cookies on it now. I already have give cookie ready. Oh, geez, we're gonna find out. Also, chat, it should be noted that both Zoe and I are currently typing in the chat.
Yeah, we both have a give cookie 10 lined up. Oh, you got it. I'll also point out that I gave her 10 cookies to bet with, so I just lost 20 cookies.
Okay, I gave those 10 back, so we're good.
You repaid the loan, so yeah, it's fine.
So, 2 hours and 24 minutes in, Pixel is close to ending his suffering with Mylon Zed being found in the Odin Throne.
What a seed, Smapty. Like, we talked about a number of different ways you pandered to us throughout the seed with all the Edwards and the Tella edge start. But truly, you just pandered by making a very long and trolly seed for me and Oscar to commentate. And I know I appreciate that because I don't get blamed for this one.
And here's a Masamune for your troubles.
Hey, you take a Masa, that's not bad.
What's so funny is when you get a Tella edge start, a Magma key start, and the second key item that most people found was the Darkness Crystal.
Yeah.
You're looking at this seed from the beginning going, okay, this is going to be over really, really quickly. No.
Yeah. Pixel Tamer is now 17 out of 17 as well. Plus the honorary key item of the pass. Yeah. Every light on Pixel Tamer's side is lit up now.
I'm just excited to hear the level of just tired relief during that potential interview. Unfortunately, though, funny story about it being at the Odin Throne. Pixel,
Yeah.
he's not fighting the Baron Throne, has to walk this out a decent distance. So at this point, Pixel's probably going, oh, come on! Can't I just use exit? But once Pixel does get out of Baron, it's just a short flight to Troya. And with the pass, that is a short flight to one other location that usually brings about something interesting in chat. Chat, this is your cue.
Come on, chat. You can do it.
All right, there we go. So I'm seeing a very large number of tired people in this chat, and I don't blame them. Would you like to explain why once Pixel is done setting up their, or as Pixel is working on their party?
I think they're just like they're really enjoying my commentary. Like the Z stands for Zoe. So I appreciate it. I'll take a bow. Thank you very much.
I think the Who's Buds, just because this has been a 2.5 hour slog and they're not realizing that there's a butt at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, like they're asking whose butt is responsible for this. The answer would be Smapey.
100%. Zoe. I like Scala's quote was Zoe right there.
Smapey.
It's nice.
But for real, chat, you may have noticed after checking every boss spot imaginable that we never saw Zeromus. And you may be asking, this is a randomizer. Why didn't we run into Zeromus? Why isn't he in the boss pool? Well, to quote Baka, Zeromus is too big and too bad to put anywhere else but his vanilla location. But as anyone that plays a randomizer knows, if you're going to do the same thing every time with no variance, it's going to get a little boring. So since we can't change where Zeromus is or what Zeromus does, we can change at least one thing about him. And that would be what he looks like. So, Asuka, you wanna ask the question?
Well, for today, well, yeah, I'm gonna hold off because Pixel is not quite there yet. I'll make the chat shudder with anticipation. So 2.5 hours in, whose butt are we finally going to be kicking tonight? I feel I've done my part thanking Snoopy by taking my time.
It was very good, and I made sure I was going to stay completely quiet until you were done.
Shout out to Rex.
We have a message from Rex Farrell.
That is how you become a runner of the people.
The memes are coming from inside the restream.
Of course.
Oh, I love it. Negamus.
So for all the Darkwing Duck fans in attendance, we are fighting Negaduck. Well, Negamus, but Negaduck. Zoe, I do believe hopefully we'll have an interview with Rex, and if we do, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Tetsuya, Mylon Zed turned out to be on the Odin throne, and the Baron Key was in a lunar subterranean trap chest.
And unless Asuka mentioned it and I was busy writing a meme into a certain bot's code, we did have 3 other finishers. Infinius in 12th place with a time of 2 hours, 27 minutes, and 20 seconds. Gambit finished in 13th place, a time of 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 33 seconds. And Xenocat in 14th, 2:30 on the dot.
I'm curious to, once this is all said and done, to peek into the race spoilers room and just see everybody commiserating and just kind of rocking in their chair. What did we just do?
So to give another small peek behind the curtain here, I record the top 3 finish times for each legacy race, and until this race, the longest seed for the first place finisher was week 1, which was 1 hour and 42 minutes. This one beat that by 15 minutes. So
I think it's week 2.
Oh, it is week 2. So my mic is blocking. My mic is in front of my face, literally blocking only that row. I didn't see it. Yeah, 1 hour, 45 minutes, 30 seconds. 12 minutes longer.
Yeah, with ladies, gentlemen, and folks of all of chat, we have our first restreamed runner finishing. Pixel Tamer has ended his suffering with a final time of 2 hours, 32 minutes, and 51 seconds. Please get your well-deserved GDs out in the chat. And I can tell Pixel is really done with this because he is already in our comms booth. Hi, Pixel. How are you doing?
I have some notes that application. Turns out I missed one, and that one was very important. It had a bear key that was required.
No, yeah, I'm real bad with the vanilla trap chest locations on the moon, so I wouldn't be able to tell. But I was like, okay, there has to be at least one left. So
well, accidentally where the file I was going to use to save come back to the moon in the likely event that Tower Key didn't pan out, or Rat Tail. So a little flustered near the end.
Well, you weren't as flustered as Rex, who took the time to put a text message to chat over his gameplay, which just said "arg."
Yeah, I was not that flustered.
But GG's, you were the first of the restreamed racers to finish. This was a thing that happened on this channel tonight. So I give you credit for persevering.
Yeah, and I mean, I got 2 of the meta objectives at least. I don't know if I got the secret third one, but my placement makes it not super important.
Yep, and due to your placement, I will not reveal if you got the third one because I don't want people to be able to metagame by watching the VOD.
Almost everything, but fair enough. But yeah, I have a question for Asuka. How much did you bribe Smafety to roll a seed with 4 Edwards?
It was great, wasn't it? It was awesome.
I mean, from a certain point of view, I cleared so many things, Edward probably would have been at enough hit points to survive a Big Bang if I'd kept him.
Right? And you had the spoon. You had every key item. I mean, real talk there. But you had a spoon. Yeah, what were your thoughts on Mysidia with that double Edward?
I face-palmed a bit, and then I first thought, okay, well, Asuka rolled this. Then I remembered that no, Asuka did not roll this.
Yeah, me and Oscar are in the booth tonight. Neither of us were responsible for this.
Yep.
But I think we can all thank Judge and Phineas for turning on Fiends.
Yeah. That was a thing. I was really glad to find Lunar Alter Cecil, because then it meant I could stop caring about the experience on the Cecil that ended up with Crystal Sword.
Yeah, because you could just grab the other to be your anchor.
Yeah, Crystal Sword, Avenger, Ghost Burr, and so do high-level edges.
Yep.
I know in the end it didn't quite matter because, again, you did a large amount of the seed there, but you went a very, very long time without finding either of the roses in, for all intents and purposes, very early check areas. What were your thoughts that first rosy you found, which I believe was Watery Pass?
Yeah, it was Watery Pass. Part of it was like, my thought process was originally, I'm going to leave the moon and check some of these character spots because A, I still need a Rosa, and B, I'm running out of things that are going to give her experience. And then on the way back, I kind of remembered, right, we have free characters on. It's not just the Edwards that I purged from my brain. And then I found like 3 or 4 of her.
This was definitely the seed of duplicates, with duplicate Edwards, duplicate Cecils, duplicate Edges, duplicate Rosas, and a Foo. Just chilling in the cave.
Were there any interesting reactions to me saying no to Foo?
Yeah, we both were just like, well, it's not every day you see this happen. And like, where were you an hour and a half ago?
Oh, it was, I'm planning on replacing my Tella with a level 1 Cecil to anchor, so changing up my party is not worth the time right now. Because I was planning on going heavy berserk with Rosa, 2 ninjas, and a paladin.
I mean, looking back, okay, so for next week, Fiends is still going to be on. We're still going to have a lot of objectives. What are your thoughts for next week? Like, seeing what has now happened and what chaos can ensue. Is there a different way you're going to be prepping for it, or is it just kind of same thing and hope rando's a different way, or how are you going to look for it?
Well, step one is I'm going to review my notes on the trap chest to make sure I'm only missing the one, and then I think I'm going to have to be more diligent about full clearing the moon, because I kind of meted poorly when I saw that, like, yeah, nobody's done yet. Maybe it's not something that came off of a moon key item. Maybe it's one of these weird rabbit holes like Giant or Hook or something like that, and that kind of went against my benefits.
Gotcha. Any fun choice words for our restreamer Smapey that can be said on Restream?
Thank you for rolling a seed that no doubt entertained our audience.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, I'm playing up the saltiness a little bit for the sake of the show, but yeah. Overall, it was good. I just wish I had learned about my notes error in a less frustrating fashion.
Yeah, it's always rough, but now you know for next week, because as Oscar said, we are stuck with O-Fiends for at least one more week. And then if the winner next week is gracious enough to turn it off, that is their prerogative. So
yeah, I mean, this is more about vanilla traps because that's what I was missing. But yeah, O-Fiends is all right. It's not my favorite because boss hunts can just make things take a while, but I also just like it because it's thematic and makes sense from a story perspective of, oh no, we have to go hunt down the 4 Fiends of Elements.
Yeah, absolutely. We touched on it a bit earlier.
There are 6 encounters.
Yeah, we touched on it a bit earlier about how O-Fiends is a fantastic flag if you're playing with win game, because then you don't also have to do a Zeromus fight.
But yeah, thanks to everyone involved tonight in making the pretty pictures happen and doing some commentary. I'm gonna have to watch this back at some point and see what kind of shenanigans Rex got up to, and I look forward to seeing what Smapey does with regards to whatever you've done to Siren to have a funny with him.
Yeah, I will say, unfortunately for Rex, he did find the hook, or the hook rat tail tower key rabbit hole, and that's what is currently being chased.
GG's again to Pixel Tamer. Thank you so much for being on the Restream. It's never required for anybody to be on Restream. It's always a volunteer basis. So thank you for putting your name in that proverbial hat.
Yep. Talk to everyone later.
Take care.
Take care.
I will say that we're 3 additional finishers since Pixel Tamer finished in 15th. 16th is Harump with a time of 2 hours, 33 minutes, and 21 seconds. Commander Leonhardt finished his slog in 17th place with 2 hours, 34 minutes, and 58 seconds. And Tybalt is coming up in 18th place with 2 hours, 35 minutes, 35 seconds. So GG's to those 3 runners right there.
Yep. And question from chat: where was the last thing you did? It was on Odin Throne. The Baron Key came from a lunar subterranean trap chest, and it seems our restreamer Smapey is eager to get about his night. We are going to be wrapping up the restream here, but we are actually going to send you all over to Rex so that you can watch him finish. If he does not have emote only chat on, please do not spoil this for him. Let him finish it out of his own merit, and give him big GGs once he does finish.
Seriously, GG's to every single person that's finished this race, attempted this race. This was a tough one. This was a very, very high completion seed, a very for some people a very frustrating seed, and I know I probably would have forfeited right away. I don't understand how so many people were able to do this seed. It's amazing. So please give the GGs when the GGs are due.
Well, thank you so much to Smapey behind the scenes for the restreaming. Thank you, Oscar, for being my co-commentator. Thank you, Kairu, for tracking. And thank you to both of our runners. And thank you all so much for coming out. We will be back on... Is it a Slapdash week? It is a Slapdash week. So we'll be back tomorrow night with Sunday Slapdash for another Community Club showcase. But in the meantime, I've been Zoe Vermillion. Have a great night.
And I'm Oscar424, and again, thank you to Zoe for not just being co-commentator, but creating this wonderful masterpiece that is Enterprise Legacy, and I hope everybody enjoyed. So with that, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll check you out later. Bye!